Howdy yolks, before we get started today, we just want to let you know that this episode of Bacon and Eggs is brought to you by you. We want to build this thing to be as big as it can be. More episodes, merchandise, events, giveaways, you name it. But we can't do it alone. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our episodes, head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/baconandegg and consider checking us out on some of the great rewards tiers we've got set up over there, or making a donation of any kind. We want to keep this podcast free and available for everyone, so if you have a couple of bucks to spare, anything goes a long way, and we could really use your help to make this podcast the best podcast it can be. So thank you for donating, and thank you even more for listening.
Howdy yolks, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And we're headed back to the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
But this time we're once again in England.
So take a look at that thestral.
And literally murder, spoiler,
because we've got a special guest today.
for Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Oh my gosh, so exciting. Today we are joined by none other than our good friend from across the pond. You just heard her, you're gonna hear her again. She goes by the last name Bakeey. She's an incredible content creator, does all sorts of stuff, collects very cool things. Recently went to Harry Potter World without me. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Her real name is Sophie. I'm going to probably call her Sophie the rest of the day because that's what it shows up when she emails me, and we've been corresponding a lot going into this. Anyway, Sophie, who are you? What do you do? Welcome to Bacon and Eggs. We're so happy you're here, and tell us a little about you.
I'm Sophie, also known as TheBakeey on YouTube, or some people call me The Bakery for some reason, or Half-Blood Princess, but I just make... I just make Harry Potter videos as much as I can, make them Harry Potter related, but make references in there, do challenges, discussions. Not your normal, like, theory, educational person for Harry Potter YouTube, more just fun and stuff like that.
That's how we try to approach it. Theories stress me out.
Yeah,
so
a little bit.
You have to be clever.
You got to be really clever, and unlike my brothers, we are not clever. So we just avoid that entirely. So I definitely get where you're coming from.
Oh, fair enough. Well, we're here to talk about the 5th and 6th Harry Potter movies, not the books, movies. We're talking about the movies.
No, of course
I'm saying this repeatedly
will.
to remind myself that we're talking about the movies.
Do you not get them all mixed up in your head? Like, sometimes I can't remember which one's the movies, which one's the books, and it's just a big blurge in my head.
It definitely messes me up because Daniel Radcliffe, in my mind, is Harry. And I understand a lot of people don't see him that way, but then when I read the books, I'm able to, like, build the world around... And the casting for so much of the supporting cast is so good. I'm able to build the world around, like, what I know they real life look like. And then in my brain, I can, like, picture scenes that never actually happened on film. And it's bad. But the books are way better.
Definitely.
Especially for this pair of books and movies.
Wow.
I'm just gonna say it now. I've made no secret over the course of this that Half-Blood Prince is by far my favorite Harry Potter book, and it currently stands, I think, as possibly going to be my least favorite Harry Potter movie. But we'll see.
Heartbreak Hill. Heartbreak Hill.
I'm under the impression that our guest today really loves these movies, and I want her to explain to me why I'm wrong. Not right this second, but as we go.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Don't just put me on blast for the next hour.
So we are going to start with The Order of the Phoenix. Now, this movie was released on July 11th, 2007. That was 4,038 days ago on a $150 million budget, which is kind of a shoestring budget when you look at the next three films in the series. It made $939.9 million worldwide. It's US dollars. We have someone from across the pond. I must be very clear here. US dollars. That was about 500 million GBPs, Great British Pound. I think that's what it stands for. Great British Bake Off. Is that what it is?
Oh my god.
Some people say sterling.
That's why I said in the intro, but I said bucks. That felt so weird. I've never said that word before.
You said buck?
Fun fact about the word bucks. I once convinced Seamus Gorman that it was called a dollar bill because the dollar was named after William Buck Dollar.
Yes, that's where the buck
because we call
and
them
the
bills
bill
instead of
came
notes
from.
here in the States, and he was very confused about the fact that they call them bills, and I actually had him convinced for a second. He was telling people that.
It was nuts. Now, this movie was pretty well received. Not as good as some of the others, but it got a 78% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 81% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 71 on Metacritic, which is a significant below from where the others were, but is still better than most of the movies we talk about, I feel like. Wouldn't you say? Maybe? Around? I don't know. I can never keep these I can't
That's
keep track.
a high Metacritic compared to the Rotten Tomato score.
It is. It for certainly is. What was I going to say, man? Okay, so we need to start with a quick binary review. As a reminder for those of you listening at home for the first time, very interesting episode to start on. But Sophie's a huge deal. I understand why you clicked on her name instead of somebody weird like, I don't know, Tessa Netting.
Who?
Well, we're exactly. Or like Wheezy Waiter, who? But Sophie, we're super glad you're here. The binary review, what it is it's basically just a 0 or a 1. Does the movie, are you not about it or are you about it? 1 says I'm about it, 0 says I'm not. Me personally, quick binary, I give this a 1.
I think it's gonna be 1 for majority. You're about the Harry Potter films, aren't you?
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, we have yet to rate any of them as a 0. So, I mean,
I think Deadpool 2 got a 0.
No,
that was the only one.
Deadpool 2. I mean, we've rated movies as 0s, but like, I don't think we've rated any of the Harry Potter movies as 0s.
Yeah, and I don't think we will.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like off the bat, this book and film, in my mind, are a little bit of a waste of time. I'll say it. I'll come out and say it. It's enjoyable, and I think it does a really good job of getting people into the world really well. Like, I feel like most of this story, I don't really get the conflict. I'm hoping, Sophie, you can explain it to me, or Ethan, somebody can explain it to me. Like, it doesn't seem like the prophecy is that important, that it does anything, especially in the film.
Yeah, I will agree with you in the film part, because there's a lot left out toward this end of the series in the movies that was explained, like in the prophecy and in later movies, that it's just, or later books, it's just kind of like skipped,
right?
For lack of a better word. But yeah, go ahead, Sophie. What?
No, I feel like the prophecy was like, they say it's about, it could have been Neville and stuff like that, but we all sort of clocked on that it was Harry. It seemed a bit like pointless, but
oh no. Believe me, Hugh, many YouTube theorists I know make a living off of the line that it could have been Neville.
Yeah.
Like,
right, but that is a dead-end conversation. Like, it could have been Neville. You're exactly right. He was born at the end of the line to parents that have thrice defied Voldemort. Great. But, it wasn't Neville. Fun fact. I don't know if you guys caught on to this. Yeah. If you caught on any point during the Harry Potter books, is that it's about Harry Potter. The boy who lived. Happy 38th birthday, by the way, Harry Potter. As we're recording this, it is Harry's 38th birthday today.
He's an old man.
Yeah, he's got kids of his own. July 31st, 1980. I think.
Anyway, Sophie, thoughts on the prophecy? Tell me more about why I should care about the prophecy.
Ugh, I can't explain that. I to be honest, with the prophecy, with the film, I enjoyed that whole like seeing the prophecy as in the scene of it with the Death Eaters and stuff like that, and it building into it. But I genuinely didn't see the point of the prophecy as much. It actually could have. Do you reckon it could have just been left out totally?
Well, left out, and what I mean, the movie had to have like a final conflict. What would you have?
Yeah, but I mean, like, as in, if it didn't have it in a, I don't know where I'm going with this, but is in it like we have it as Harry. We knew it was Harry, and I know the theories around it could have been Hagrid. No, not Hagrid. Neville.
Hagrid's the chosen one. Hagrid is the chosen one. You heard it here first, folks.
That would be probably more interesting. That would have been a
holy crap! I'm just imagining Hagrid at the end of Deadly Hallows Part 2 going, all right, now you listen there, Tom. That's how we're not going to do it.
I'm completely lost track of this stuff. This is when I try and explain the plot.
That's the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
But the film doesn't explore the Neville Longbottom situation
so it's pointless
at
in the
all.
film. That's what I'm saying. But the only reason it's there in the film is to lead up to the final battle between like the Death Eaters and the Order.
Right. It's there in the film because it was there in the book. It makes a lot more sense in the book.
I actually watched the movies first, so I had no idea what was going on with the problem.
Right, it's like this entire movie where it's like, okay, really what we needed to happen was for Harry to catch up the other students so that when the time came, they could reasonably hold their own against Death Eaters.
If you haven't read the book, I think for this one specifically, but for this one and 6, if you haven't read the book for this one, it's a worthless movie almost. Like, because there's so much that you need the background for to be like, okay, this is what's happening, because it's not obvious.
You'll be very lost.
Yeah, and most of
you do get an interesting villain, and I think if this were to stand alone, I think you take the whole prophecy out of it, and you make the whole movie about a bunch of 15-year-old kids who have a terrible teacher, and the whole process of getting around that and taking care of her. And that whole thing.
What I think happened, and I've said this a couple times to different people with the books, so what it feels like happened with this Harry Potter book in particular is J.K. Rowling sat down and wrote from the minute that they get to the Ministry of Magic and then finished the book. And then she was like, well, crap. That was only, I don't know, 300 pages. I still need 9,000 more pages. Let me create this horrible, horrible, evil, awful character to give them some kind of conflict throughout the entire movie, but then just completely erase her from existence.
No, she's not completely erased from existence.
No, but she doesn't... Past the point where the centaurs take her off, she does not matter anymore. She's completely irrelevant to the final part of the movie.
What are you talking... to the final part of this movie, yeah, but not to the story.
I mean, she's irrelevant for the most part in the story.
What are you talking about? She has the locket.
Okay, but like... That was a cop-out. I'm sorry. Anybody could have had that lockout.
Well, anyway,
Lockout.
I will say this. I think J.K. Rowling did better with Umbridge than she did with Barty Crouch Jr. Barty Crouch Jr. was like such a cool character, such a devoted follower, and then they just kill him, or the Dementors kiss him, and he's gone. Oh,
I think she did a better job with Umbridge than she did with Voldemort.
Oh yeah, Umbridge is genius.
Like, this is one of the best written villains ever in anything.
The way in the film, the way she does it is so good. Like, I was watching it the other day, and like that is the best bit of acting I've seen. So the way she just holds herself is crazy. Yeah.
So she and...
I really don't like children.
She and Emma Thompson are like best friends and like neighbors. And so Emma...
What I was just gonna say, it's my understanding that the actress is like a really pleasant person.
Yeah. Yeah, she and Emma Thompson are like best friends, and she, I guess apparently Emma Thompson went to her and was like, I need you to not take this the wrong way, but you have to try out for this role. Like, you're perfect for it, and she is perfect for it. There's no other person on Earth that could have possibly fit that part better.
You know what I pictured, and she looks very similar. Do you remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yeah.
The secretary, or to the principal, or the vice principal, or whatever.
I can see that.
That's who I pictured. Because she's described as being very toad-like.
Right, and this is it's another piece of brilliant casting for the adults in Harry Potter.
Even the kids are great.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the kids were picked in the first movie.
Right.
Like, this 5 movies down the line, they're still proving that they can pick these secondary characters and give new life to the movies.
Right.
And
Emma Thompson, man, what a great actor.
So, Sophie, you love this movie, correct?
I have mixed feelings, surprisingly.
Okay.
I feel like I normally skip the first 30 minutes to go into, but I think I love Harry in it. I really do. I think like seeing what he's going through really that's the only reason I would probably watch The Order of the Phoenix, is just to see what he's going through and how Dumbledore's just ignoring him and stuff like that, and how angry he's getting. I really like that. And like, obviously, since the Goblet of Fire and Voldemort's coming back and no one believes, that's all awesome in that. So I love that part of it, but the whole Umbridge and stuff, I'm not for that. I sort of love the ending of it.
Interesting. So you don't like the Umbridge thing?
Well, as in, like, I can respect the Umbridge thing, but like, I get it's hard because
the Umbridge thing isn't fun to watch.
Yeah, you're not meant to stand her, but that's why she does it so well, that you can't stand her because you're not meant to. So that annoys me. But and then I don't know, like some points, like bits of it are just pointless. But that's majority of the Harry Potter movies. They have bits in there which you think they could easily not put in there. But I'm just.
You mean like Quidditch?
Yeah.
In the movie as well as in the book, is like the movie is just 2 and some change hours of stress.
It really is.
The same with the book. The book is like 1,100 pages of just me being stressed because nobody's listening to Harry. Umbridge is constantly calling him a liar. Like, he's obviously right. He won't do the lessons, and he's just being a brat about it. And the whole time I'm just like, everybody shut up for 30 seconds and talk to each other. And then nobody has to die. Or just, use the mirror. I'm gonna keep coming back to that. Just use the mirror. You know what I'm talking about? That Sirius gave him to talk to him. No, we gotta talk to the house elf and then let Sirius get killed. I'm mad. I'm still bitter. It's been like 14 years since that book came out. I'm still mad.
The annoying thing is that, obviously, I think it's the Order of Phoenix books, they explain why Harry has to be at the Dursleys, but they don't explain it at all in the movies, and I was just getting so frustrated of why they had to keep doing this, and I think it's in the Order of Phoenix they finally explain it. That was one thing they really should have put in the movies.
Well, it's weird that he, like, I've never really been satisfied with the explanation. He has to go back to the Dursleys to protect them, right?
No.
Oh, it's
That's him.
Yeah, so it's Lily's sister's has. I think it's either the house or is it her herself? Does he have to be near her?
It's the family.
Oh, so she could just tag along next to him.
No, but it's like it's within the house as long as he can still call the house home because his family lives there. He is afforded certain protections.
I'll tell you one thing. They, even in the books here with this movie, like, there's obviously the huge turning point at the end of 4 where, like, Voldemort is alive. Oh crap! Like, that's real deal now. Dude is alive and well. And then in this movie and in the book, they just introduce a bunch of random characters. Like, who is Tonks?
She's a member of the Order of the Phoenix.
Right, but, like, why do I care?
Because they needed more people for the Order of the Phoenix.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like she doesn't add anything to the story, especially not in the movie where literally all she does is, like, change her hair color and get a pig's nose.
Well, yeah, I mean, she has no
seconds.
Purpose in the movies. Like, they did not need to leave her.
Yeah.
But this movie definitely has its moments. The pacing is whack throughout the entire thing. It's the best way I can describe it. The movie is very, like, frenetic, but I still don't feel like it told the story.
This is the one that has the music video at the end of it.
What?
Well, it's not actually a music video, but, like, Voldemort's going through Harry's thoughts and he's, like, shaking on the floor like Lady Gaga. And then, like, Voldemort will show up on screen and he'll be like, ah, ooh, ah.
That's accurate. That is this movie.
And, like, the even the background behind Voldemort is, like, you know, it looks like a Windows Media Player visualization. Do you remember those from, like, 1994?
Yeah.
I guess that's a little before our time, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I will say this movie does introduce a character that I think is brilliant, not just an Umbridge. There's another villainous female character who I think is cast perfectly and is wonderful in Bellatrix Lestrange.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she was the second choice. Fun fact.
Behind
the woman that ended up playing Narcissa Malfoy
Oh yeah.
in 6.
Did she become pregnant and couldn't do it? Or something like that?
Yeah. And so they were like, well, I guess we'll get Helena Bonham Carter. I mean, crap.
She's perfect.
And then she just, like, lives the role.
Is Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yeah,
she seems like the only cool Death Eater as well.
She could be the most pleasant person in real life, and I will only ever see her as Bellatrix Lestrange. Like, watching her in Ocean's 8 was weird. Being like a normal person, relatively normal person that isn't evil.
Yeah, I agree.
But so there's really good moments. This movie is almost worth it alone, just for that one scene where they're in Dumbledore's office and everybody and Snape and Dumbledore are, like, arguing back and forth between each other, and you can see Harry start to, like, go lose his mind a little bit, and then when he shouts "Look at me" at Dumbledore, it's like that's a really tense moment. I think Daniel Radcliffe handled that really well, and it's moments like that throughout this movie that make it worth it to me.
That's similar with me. That's why I enjoy the movie, for scenes like that. In the books, people get so annoyed with Harry in this, but I actually liked it.
I get annoyed with Harry in this book. He's
the whole series is like Harry Potter, and then if he just spoke up, none of this would have happened.
Just make yourself known. Practice occlumency.
To
like, I don't know. It's a very frustrating book, and I get that it's supposed to be like, oh man, angsty teenagers, nobody listens to us. They just call us liars, man. But
yeah, it's a bit. They didn't do it that much. We knew no one was listening to him, but it was a long time.
Yeah. Which is weird because it's the longest book, and this is, I think, the shortest movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't really feel like the shortest movie. It felt like it drug on forever, even though everything moved super fast.
Because it was very similar stuff. It felt a lot. I don't know. Repeating? There's a lot of repeating in there. I feel like they've already gone through that.
Right, and there's a lot of, like, montage scenes almost where it's like a lot of stuff happens in, like, 5 minutes, and then nothing will happen for, like, 15 minutes, and they do it again.
It's the good stuff that lasts 15 seconds that you want to see more of.
Right, it's like the whole scene where Harry's teaching them teaching the DA, and it's interspersed with the cuts of, like, Filch and Umbridge trying to break into the room of requirement. Like, that is a really good scene, and I could have watched that for 30 minutes, but it's like 5 minutes, and it's just the whole movie's a little weird. We do get our first look at the David Yates Potterverse, though. The new guy, the guy who is the Harry Potter director now.
Yeah, he's still the guy.
Yeah, he's still the guy. He's doing all of the Fantastic Beasts movies, but you finally see the final look for the Harry Potter movies. It's got the same, kind of score going throughout the rest of them. It's got the same look going out the rest of them, and it is a very good looking movie. The score is excellent. Like, I can't fault it on those things. It's mostly just a plot thing. for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. The plot is like, it just exists, you know, like it has to happen for things to move on. But I feel like, and this is probably one of the few complaints I have with Harry Potter in total, is that like there's a lot of interesting and unique story for 1 through 4, and then I feel like 5 and 6 are really just like, oh, we got to write the rest of these books. He's got to go to school for 7 years, and then in 7 everything happens all at once.
I don't know. I feel like 6 is pretty important.
I mean, he's got that one important scene at the end.
Maybe in the movie.
I tore through these books. I won't lie to you. They're all very blurred together right now.
So you still don't understand the prophecy thing. You don't like the prophecy.
No, I think it's stupid.
Why though? I don't get it.
How is hearing it change anything?
What do you mean?
I mean, how does Voldemort hearing it change anything?
It doesn't.
Then why was he so
That's the
bent
point.
on getting
he
it?
doesn't know what he doesn't know.
It just seems so stupid. Like, it's such an unsatisfying thing. If you're an author, make the prophecy worth something.
No. Why would it be worth something? That's the whole point.
But isn't it just exactly the same? Harry was going after Voldemort beforehand. Voldemort was going after Harry, and still it's going to happen
now,
anyway.
Now Harry knows about whether he knows what it is or not. He knows that he has special powers against Voldemort. B, he knows that he has to be the one to kill Voldemort.
He was going to do it anyway.
No, he wasn't. He was not.
Well, he was totally going to do it anyway.
No, he was not.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Harry
before.
was
Harry
all
wanted
in on
that
it.
limelight. He was going to do it.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
He wanted...
But I am the chosen one.
That was in 6.
I know.
He was thinking it
I
throughout.
mean, there's other ways that this prophecy could have happened. There was actually a scene earlier in this series where Trelawney grabs him and gives him a little prophecy. It could have just happened right there. And then Harry would have been like, I know I'm the one that's got to kill Voldemort. And Voldemort could have been very interesting and a useful evil character instead of hunting one person and actually, like, just done evil stuff. Instead, he does everything to hunt Harry Potter.
Right, because
God knows
because
why.
Harry, he knows why. You know why? Because Harry's the one that's going to defeat the Dark Lord, the one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. Born of those who have thrice defied him, born as the 7th month dies. That's all Voldemort heard.
But he never even hears the prophecy.
It doesn't matter. He's not supposed to hear it.
'Cause the prophecy doesn't
No, the
matter.
prophecy does matter. The fact that Voldemort chased Harry down matters. The fact that Voldemort heard part of the prophecy but not all of it matters. The fact that Harry understands why he has to be the one to die in place of Voldemort, to be the one to die in sacrifice.
But in the end, that's not why. He has to die at the hand of anybody to kill the Horcrux.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, anybody
It's
could
got
have killed
nothing
him.
to do with the prophecy.
But Voldemort's not going to let anybody kill him because because Voldemort is arrogant, he wants to be the one to vanquish Harry Potter.
So the prophecy means nothing, is what you're telling me.
To Voldemort, yes, the prophecy means nothing. Why is this a problem? It means something to Harry.
What does it mean to Harry? That he has to...
Harry was going to go anyway.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, Harry would do it. If Trelawney grabbed him in the 3rd book and did that spiel and then added the other prophecy to the end of it, the 5th book would be completely pointless.
Sure. The 3rd book is pointless.
3rd book's not pointless. We get Sirius, and we get the Marauders map.
Sirius could have
The
happened
Marauders
as a
map shows
side
Harry
plot.
where... What?
Sirius could have happened as a side plot to 4 or 5 or 3, whatever the new 3 is, or anything. There's no reason that had to be the entire plot of a book. If we're going to talk about which ones are pointless.
Oh, I mean, if I'm J.K. Rowling, I'm writing 7 books about 7 Horcruxes.
Well, she didn't.
Missed
Fun
opportunity.
fact. She did not write 7 books about 7 Horcruxes. She wrote 1 book about 1 Horcrux and then a bunch of other stuff, and then 1 book about another 1 Horcrux, and then 1 book about the other 5.
Oh, crap.
Like I said, the diary being a Horcrux killed by a basilisk fang is the biggest cop-out ever. She got to the end of 6 and she's like, man, I have a lot of these things left.
And I need something that can destroy them.
Something other than the Sword of Gryffindor.
Right.
Anyway, I don't think the prophecy is stupid, at least not to Harry. Maybe in the context they put it in for the movie, but it's definitely not pointless in the book. It ensures that Harry doesn't give up.
You know what, Ethan? You're pointless.
You're right. Fun fact.
That's all I got to say about that.
So what did you guys like about the movie? What did you dislike about the movie? What were the standout moments? Any performances? Any characters? Any lines? Any scenes?
I'll say, for me, something that has stuck out this read-through and this watch-through that I didn't really get in earlier viewings of this series is how much I care for Fred and George Weasley. And their whole send-off at Hogwarts is excellent.
Yeah, in the movie and the book.
Yeah, the whole fireworks thing just during the OWLs, that was super wonderful.
Yeah, they're V important. I mean, Ron says it, I think, in the next movie where he's like, Fred reckons people need a laugh. I reckon he's right. It's very true. I did need a laugh by the end of this book. and this movie.
Speaking of the Weasleys, like Percy, like you don't even know what's going on during the film with him, but obviously with the book,
You don't at all.
You don't have a clue. Just suddenly shows up with Fudge. You're like, what's going on here? But then obviously in the book, trail and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Percy.
It was super. It's just another one of those things that they were like, we know what's going on. That means everybody knows what's going on. Steve Clovis is just like, yeah, I got this. Totally, I can do a script. We're good. And it's not explained.
I feel like what I don't like, and if they were ever to redo it, and I don't know if I hope they do or I don't, but what's very clear with the Harry Potter series is that it is 8 adaptations of 7 books, and they're all their own. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
Order of the Phoenix is an adaptation of the book Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, not the sequel to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the movie.
Yeah, that is very obvious in this one especially.
Right. It's like they're very inconsistent as film.
They're consistent from 5 onward because of the whole same director thing.
Exactly. And that's,
2 is the sequel to 1, 3 and...
I actually think the way we broke them up, they're surprisingly well coupled.
Yeah, they are.
Turns out 7 and 7 Part 2, same story.
Really well together. Oh, Sophie, what did you love or hate about this movie? Where does it fall on your list? How does it make you feel when you go to sleep at night? Do you dream about Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the movie?
I just dream about the Snape moments in it. The occlumency lessons, that was, I love those scenes there. I love the family tree scenes between Sirius and Harry. But I don't know where I fall because there's so many. I think of stuff like that, and I think that helps the story grow. But then also so much stuff that just, like you said, is such a waste of time. But the Snape and the occlumency lessons, obviously you need the flashbacks, but you don't get all the flashbacks, which is a bit weird because why would you do half of it? I think they definitely paint Snape a lot nicer in the films. They don't mention about the, can I say the M word on here?
The what?
The mudblood.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they don't.
That's a British insult. So I mean, is
Sophie,
it okay
there
with your
are
listeners?
children listening to this show.
I get so much stick for saying that word.
Yeah, no, I mean Snape. This is in the series. This is where Snape really starts to take a turn for the worse. And yeah, you're right. They don't really portray that as much in the movies.
This is what I wanted to ask you about, TheBakeey. You're a Snapeologist, a Snapeapologist, a Snapist. You're a Snapist. Mm-hmm. I tweeted about Snape not too long ago, and you threatened to leave me over it. What do you mean you're okay with what Snape did? Tell me.
This is the thing. Before I started my YouTube channel, I was just very in the middle with Snape, and now as I kept going on with it just turned into a absolute over the top love. I'm one of those people who just block out what I don't want to hear about Snape.
So
what about the fact that he bullied children?
You do realize
and helped Umbridge poison them.
No,
killed somebody.
Without Severus Snape, the Dursleys would have liked Harry.
Pointless, like the prophecy.
Say that again?
Wait, what did you say?
No, what did you say? I want to hear what your first.
No, I said these things that people say about Snape is pointless, like the prophecy.
Oh. Yeah, no. Snape, without Severus Snape, the Dursleys would have liked Harry, and he wouldn't have been miserable for 11 years. Yeah, if Snape hadn't...
that was the point that I made.
If Snape hadn't tried to kill Petunia Evans. It's weird attributing her a last name.
I'm reading Harry Potter as well as the Hunger Games recently. There's a lot of female characters named after flowers in popular teen literature.
It's cool. I just put together the fact that they're both named after flowers this time I was reading it, which is probably the 11th time I've read the Harry Potter series. I was like, man, that's weird. He's got one daughter named Petunia, which is a flower, and the other daughter's, oh yeah, Lily, is also a flower. And just rammed my head against a wall. I'm like,
well, at least Petunia and Lily are normal names. Katniss and Primrose are very strange names.
I don't know if Petunia is a normal name.
It's a normal name.
How many people do you know named Petunia?
Sophie, you're across the pond.
I have no idea.
Do you have a dear friend named Petunia? Do you call him Chuny?
No, never heard of it.
Okay, well, at least Petunia is a word I'd heard before.
It is a flower.
I never even...
I know what a primrose is.
I couldn't tell you what a Katniss is to save my life.
No one could. That's... I think they named a flower after Katniss Everdeen. Actually, when you type in Katniss, she's the first thing that comes up. Wikipedia.org/wiki/Katniss_Everdeen.
What do they look like? Oh, it's grass.
Yeah, it's listed as arrowheads.
They're arrowheads. That's super clever. Well done.
Well done.
Oh,
yeah. okay. Suzanne Collins, I think is her name. Man,
Yeah.
you're not that great at writing stuff, but like that was clever.
What are you talking about? Those books are super readable.
Yeah, they're super readable. They're not particularly well written or edited or I don't know. The second ones are bad.
I know. I finished the first one and I was like, you know what? I might just put the series down. And then I picked up the second one and I was like, well, now I'm stuck.
Yeah, I have my own. We'll talk about Hunger Games some other time. I'm sure we'll get to those movies eventually. And I could talk about how it is the weird exception to the rule where the second movie is better than the second book by a long margin.
That's a little Hunger Games chat
Anyway.
for you, Sophie.
Anyway.
I don't know what your thoughts are
I
there.
haven't read the Hunger Games, but I have.
I'm learning things about.
Is it worth the read?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, worth
I
the
have
read.
got.
I mean, Mockingjay is legitimately not a great book. It's like 250 pages of Katniss crying about stuff, and then the rest of the book.
to like Harry.
No, they're all. I mean, yeah, it's worth like for the cultural knowledge that comes from it. It's worth sitting down and knocking them
Right,
out. And
like-
it'll take you a week to read.
Yeah, they're
all
not
three.
they're not bad. I mean, they're not great, but they're not like unreadable by any means. They you know the story. They tell a decent story. I mean, there's just some stuff that could be better about it. It's the same way Twilight is. Yeah,
It's way better than Twilight. What are you talking about?
right. But like Twilight tells a decent enough story with a lot of stuff wrong with it.
Right. Anyway, Harry Potter.
I don't have a whole lot to say about movie 5. I'll tell you, it's forgettable because I watched it the other day in preparation for this movie, and I think it's probably the third time I've ever seen it, second time I've ever like paid attention to it. I saw it in theaters and I saw it with Tyler at the beach one time. And I've already forgotten almost everything that happens.
Yeah, it was weird. I was watching this movie and I was like, I have never seen this before in my entire life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I do.
Like there were scenes where I was like, I have absolutely no recollection of them actually meeting in the Hog's Head in the movie.
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
definitely weird that you mentioned that scene too, because I was like, I've never seen this scene in my life.
I had no idea this even happened. And it wasn't like with Chamber of Secrets where I accidentally watched it with all the bonus footage. It was just,
Who am I, Hedwig?
what am I, Hedwig?
I'm so glad that's been made into a GIF. That's just like readily available.
I drop things a lot when we do this podcast.
Yeah, that's okay. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
I think that's let's do some rankings and stuff.
I'll tell you, when I read the book for the first time, I didn't understand what an order was, like in this terminology.
like an organization?
Yeah, like a club. I was just like, what is the Phoenix gonna order them to do?
Oh, I was thinking like
McDonald's order.
what is the like a Dewey Decimal System for penises?
I mean, that could work
Phoenixes.
too, but either way, I didn't think of like secret club. Do you think they have jackets?
It's not, you know what's crazy is it's called the Order of the Phoenix, but it's really like Harry Potter and Dumbledore's army.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot
know,
of things
like-
that you could have named this book other than Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Harry Potter and the Prophets.
Harry Potter and the Department of Mysteries, like anything other than Order of the Phoenix. Yeah.
Do you like the final battle between Dumbledore and Voldemort in this?
I legitimately do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm really about it.
just when it starts
Yeah.
to kick off.
It's really well portrayed in the movie as well. Almost, I think, better than in the book because you just get the like confident nature of Dumbledore, where like he knows he's got him beat regardless. It's not a
Yeah.
problem.
But you also
He's
see
got
how
the older
powerful they both are as individuals. I think, is it the book that he gets like the statues involved at
Yeah.
one point?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this was literally just like, oh, they can do all this with a wand.
Right.
Yeah, it gives you. It's honestly like a preview into like why you should be excited about the Fantastic Beasts series.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not just going to be kids casting the same 3 spells
It's
over and over again. Like,
Adult magic TM.
right, trademarked adult magic, like the real deal. You know, and not just anybody, like the best wizards of all time.
Yeah, we talked about that at the very beginning of our Fantastic Beasts episode with Tessa. We're like, wow, Newt's good at things.
And Newt's like really good at everything.
But yeah, Dumbledore, yeah, he's just like, all right, now, Tom, taught you better than this, you scoundrel. And Voldemort's just like, are you kidding me? You old fool! Like, obviously I'm gonna kill you. And Dumbledore's like, yeah, okay, whatever, man, whatever you think. But it's a very good battle. It's a very good end scene. There's a lot of cool scenes in the movie. There's just a lot of stuff in between that isn't as cool.
Yeah. Damn, you've made me think differently about this now.
Well, how did you think beforehand?
Because I just think of the scenes that I love to think about, and then I actually realize how much it's just
Right, it's like you can condense what I liked about this movie down to like, I don't know, 20 minutes.
just 20 minutes of just a bit of Harry getting a bit angry, and then
Right, some of the
Goes to
DA
Podge.
scenes, some of the flashbacks, and then the Ministry of Magic part.
is this where Creature, like, they introduce him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want more Creature. I want like a petition to just no.
Oh, yeah.
just more
I
Creature.
don't care at all about any of the house elves except Creature.
Oh, he's the best one.
Well, they tried to leave him out of this movie, and J.K. Rowling was just like, you can't do that. You can't. You're not allowed to. And they're like,
do much on putting him in. That's the annoying thing. They should have, if they're going to put him in, then actually tell the story behind Creature. Or more about him. Because, like, in the movie, he's just moping around, and then he comes up at one point, I can't remember what he's done, he captures Gongus, and... I feel like there's so much about Creature in the books. I think that's more Half-Blood Prince of obviously Regulus Black taking him and stuff like that to the cave.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what I like about that.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like, they try to leave Creature out of it, and J.K. Rowling was like, no, you can't leave Creature out of it. And they're like, why can't we leave Creature out of it? And they're like, you'll find out in, 10 days when the 7th book comes out. Just wait. I promise. Because this was released like a week and a half before Deathly Hallows came out as a book.
It was 4 days after, right? July 11th, 2007? 7th book came out 777?
7th book came out 2177.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
That's a little Star Wars reference for you. I don't know if you're a big Star Wars fan.
721.7.
It's too much.
What? There was definitely a 777 thing.
Well, it wasn't Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows.
There's a lot of 7 in Harry Potter. In general.
There is a lot of stuff. There is. There's no doubt about that.
July 7th, 2007. What happened?
Benedict the 16th removed restrictions on Old Tridentine Mass. Venus Williams beats Marion Bartoli.
Eva Longoria got married to Tony Parker.
What a big day.
So nothing happened.
What he something happened. I remember.
It wasn't Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, there must have been. There must have been, Ethan. You just gotta believe.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I know something happened. I remember seeing stuff about this. You know what? Somebody in the comments will be like, Josh Gotham is going to call me on my cell phone. That's somebody you don't know, Sophie, but he's a friend of ours. And he's going to say, you know what actually happened on 777 is this, that, and the other. And I'll be like, you're so right. That is exactly what happened.
It was a Saturday, so no movies came out.
Of course it was.
July 4th, Transformers was released.
Like the first one? Man, that messes my brain up.
Yep. Nothing came out.
I want to talk about the Bakeey. The Bakeey, what's happening with the Bakeey?
We gotta review the movie first.
All that, but I want to review the movie first. So we need to do the villain in this movie is, I don't know, Voldemort?
Umbridge.
The Cornelius Fudge.
Umbridge.
The villain is Cornelius Fudge.
Okay, but manifested in the form of Umbridge.
Correct. Yeah, but it's the ministry. It's the government.
Okay, but if we're going to rank
if we're talking about conflicts,
time villain,
talking about conflicts here, it's like man versus state or whatever it is.
Man, you just busted out some 10th grade college-bound English. Anyway, I want to talk about Umbridge as our villain for the film, because as far as screen time and who makes everybody's life miserable, etc., that's really who I think matters. And we're going to give her a ranking.
Man versus society.
Man versus society.
The whole
like
dang wizarding world is the villain here. He has that conflict with Seamus.
Oh, I know. That's so stupid. Seamus Finnegan is the worst character of all time.
Actually, my mom didn't want me to come back to Hogwarts. She reckons you're mad.
You're reading The Prophet, huh? That's our best English, and where is he from? Ireland?
Ireland, yeah.
Ireland?
I can't do accents anyway, so I don't know why I'm laughing.
My dad's a muggle. Mum's a witch. Bit of a shocker when he found out.
I hate Seamus.
Didn't you remember we watched them all and you like tweeted about it and the actor responded to you and was just like, what the man?
No way.
It was not the actor. No, it was somebody who was on Twitter as Seamus Finnegan. Yeah. They were like, I guess like a stan.
That was before stan pages, funny. Man. That was a while ago.
I know. I was also before I really had a following on Twitter. You'd be digging deep to get to those.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, we'll call Dolores Umbridge the villain here. She's top tier, man. Like, that woman's truly frustrating. What do y'all think?
Yeah, no, I agree. On our scale from that... You're not going to understand, probably. But she's like a 9, honestly. Like, a truly excellently written villain, manifestation of the state, you know.
Yeah, man versus society.
Yeah, really gets down on Harry. That sounds bad. She doesn't go down on Harry. But that freaking pen with the I must not tell lies.
Oh, yeah. Can you even imagine? Gosh. Like, that would be so terrible.
Oh, my gosh. It's the worst thing in the world. It's the worst.
Yeah, just awful.
What is she? Is she a Slytherin?
No, there's no way. There's no way she loves pink that much, having come from Slytherin house. What house is Dolores Umbridge in?
She's got to be a Slytherin.
Sorted into Slytherin, head of her house was Horace Slughorn.
She's also half-blood.
Yep, and she has a very short wand, because the short wands belong to those of stunted moral character.
Yikes. Is that why this Sirius Black wand I have is so long?
Yeah.
It's humongo.
So Sophie Baker, tell us about your stuff. What is your house?
My house is Slytherin.
So you're with Umbridge. And Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, we didn't
and Draco
talk about
Malfoy. And Snape.
I'm with Slughorn.
And Slughorn. And Merlin.
Yes, Merlin. Thank God he did
Merlin's a
a lot for us.
Slytherin. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I recently had to talk somebody off a cliff about being a Slytherin. My girlfriend got sorted into Slytherin house, and she was not happy about it.
So you just go for Merlin.
Yeah, I mean, you got to tell somebody something. Like, there are plenty of virtues to being a Slytherin. All the houses are like good traits. It's just they had to pick one to have the bad people in them.
Do you think they are all good traits, or are Slytherins really kind of villains?
I don't think so. What are the traits
I
of
mean,
a Slytherin?
Slughorn, like...
Ambitious is like the main one off the top of my head. Cunning. What else is there? I just know ambition.
But, like, I feel like...
It depends in which way you use it.
Right, and they all have skills like that. It's like, they're traits like that. All the houses do.
You can go either way of which way you want it to go, so...
I suppose. I don't know, man. It just seems like when Harry was at school, it wasn't... Like, I feel like if she had written him a friend in Slytherin, in any way, even just sort of like an Ernie Macmillan level friend, it would have been... I would have been more like, okay, so Draco's just a total douche. Right, like...
I mean, I think that's the point of Horace Slughorn.
She felt sorry.
No, but Horace is still kind of creepy, too.
Right, but he ends up being good. He ends up fighting.
No, he's not.
He does.
I mean, yeah, he ends up fighting, but, like... He taught Voldemort about Horcruxes.
Right, and he
Good
regrets
for a
it.
Slytherin. That's the best we get, alright?
And he hides that information from Dumbledore, the only one who can stop him.
Because he's embarrassed about the fact that he taught Voldemort about Horcruxes.
I mean, Harry has to cheat, like, his own existence and abilities to get Slughorn to explain Horcruxes to him.
Yeah, because he really doesn't want to tell him.
Yeah, because he's a bad guy.
He's not a bad guy. I love Slughorn. I
bad
love
guy.
Slughorn. We'll get to
I
Slughorn
also
in a
love
few
Slughorn.
minutes. But so you're a Slytherin.
Yes.
Do you identify with it? Do you feel like that's true? Or are you one of those people that's like, I mean, I guess.
I think it's... I didn't really get it at first, but I think it's actually quite, like, deep within me. I don't want to, like, say that I'm those sort of stuff, because it seems like you're bigging yourself up, but then I actually do that on, like, the sly. Without knowing, so I'm proud to be Slytherin, I should say.
Fair enough. We're both
We're
both Ravenclaws here at Bacon and Eggs.
We are both Ravenclaws, living that Ravenclaw life. Because we're just generally smarter than other people. That's how we kind of like to.
I actually just came up with Slytherin traits as being cleverness, but I don't know if that's just this one.
Well, there's a big difference between smart and clever.
Well, not in England. Well, I guess there is, but it's a different kind. In America, smart means intelligent, which is what clever means.
Clever's
England,
just
right?
like being... So clever for you would just be like within life, like little smart. No, I can see I'm messing them up now. So your smart would be like knowledge of like... How would you explain your smart to a difference to clever?
Clever would be like cunning.
Clever is like street smart as opposed to book smart.
Oh, okay. I think
smart has nothing to do with
just
wealth.
Me. That's not England. That's probably just me.
Man, you are stuck on that one thing that our tour guide said in London 7 years ago.
Man, no, it's in all the British literature.
I knew you were going to say this. I knew as soon as I said the word smart, Ty's going to be like, well, that doesn't mean the same thing. England smart means well-dressed.
I would just use smart and clever as the same thing, which is probably bad.
No, I mean, it's fine.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. Don't.
But it's like clever.
This is your-
I can't.
It's your world.
Smart is the wrong word. Clever is not the same thing as intelligent to me.
So cleverness is just cunning. So it's basically the same if you think of it in that way.
No, I mean, I get it depends. I did look this up actually. There's a bunch of different definitions of cunning, and only one of them is nice. Most of them are like vindictive. So take it however you want. All the houses have the same traits anyway. It's like ambition is used the same way Gryffindors talk about bravery.
Yeah.
Also, Gilderoy Lockhart still a Slytherin. I'm calling that one.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's not. He's a Ravenclaw.
But he's not.
But
he's a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, but he should be a Slytherin.
Yeah, it's the ambition thing.
It's who you were when you were 11.
Yeah, and I refuse to believe that Gilderoy Lockhart was not that person when he was 11.
You don't think he's a very dynamic character?
He's that guy that repeats your joke louder and everybody laughs at him.
I do that.
I know.
But I'm not a Slytherin.
You are in that respect. But like, I guarantee you, when he was 11, if somebody said something funny, he'd be like, "Hey man, did you hear that? Did you hear that Brad Pitt joke?"
What is that a reference from?
It's a Vine, I think. No, it's like a Chris Chin video. It's like a Jimmy Tatro.
Yes. Yeah, they said he's so cool in the last one. They call him Rad Pitt.
And then he repeats it, says that out loud. And then somebody was like, "Hey, did you hear that Rad Pitt joke?" Like, that is Gilderoy Lockhart. He's the guy that repeats the joke louder so everyone hears it.
Oh, what a reference right there. Okay, so you are a Slytherin. What is your wand?
That means wand, if you couldn't catch it.
Mine's an elm wood with a phoenix feather core, 11 inches.
Phoenix.
And quite bendy.
Mine's also
Quite.
Mine's also 11 inches, but
Can you tell me about this? I don't actually know much about wands. Like, is this a good one to have?
You know, the wand chooses the winner.
The winner.
Mrs.
Wow,
Baker.
this is a
The
if
one
the wizard
who
has
did
no
the winner.
knowledge and needs help understanding.
So
The wand that chooses the witch, Mrs. Baker. It's not always clear why.
the length doesn't really matter. Most are within the standard deviation. If it's really short, then you're like evil, and if it's really long, I guess you're not evil. But they're all between 9 and 14 inches mostly. And I don't really know about the wood or the core. I know that unicorn is the most standard. And you said phoenix feather?
Yeah.
I think phoenix is the most rare.
Ooh.
So it's something about like you have special magic sometimes, if I remember correctly, and then I don't know about the bendiness. I guess it just means that you're a bendy person. You're adaptable.
I just feel like these aren't bendy at all. Did you buy any when you were at Universal?
I didn't actually buy one. No, I've sort of looked at them.
What?
All. No. Are you like into like buying wands? That's the one thing I've just never been.
That's so weird. You
maybe
describe
it's a
yourself as a
price.
collector of things.
But I've got wands because they just happen to get purchased at some point. But I
Right.
feel like the wands are so hard because if I went into collecting them, the price would be a lot. And I feel like displaying
they're like
them,
50
I don't know
bucks
if
a
that's-
piece.
Yeah, and displaying them, I would like to have them in a nice ordered fashion, but that's gonna be quite tricky.
No, this is the only one I have.
I don't have
I've
any.
just got
I've never been to
Snapes and stopped
Universal.
at that.
I want
You got Snape's?
Snapes is the most boring one.
the ability to have my own wand. That's the thing. I maintained this about Pottermores. They are missing out on so much money.
How many different like varieties could it go? with
There's
this?
There's a bunch.
but it's not. The cores don't matter when you're talking about making
Oh
it.
yeah.
The core is irrelevant. You need wood and length. I mean, you could forgive that one. They seem to all be pretty solid.
Mine actually looks awesome looking at this picture. I love that. That's crazy.
Does yours have a weird like? What does it look like?
It's got like it's a bit like Sirius's little patterns he has on his, and it's got like a little rope around it, and it goes all bendy, a bit like whose has that sort of bend in it?
I don't know. Mine's got like a clear handle and like a hilt. It's got like a little ball about midway up.
Wait, it does? Where's mine?
I don't know.
Hold on. Can you like take a screenshot and send it to me?
What? Yeah. I mean,
I need to see this.
what?
Mine also has a little hilt, but not a ball.
Have you seen Scabior's wand? It's literally just a black stick.
Who?
Scabior. I don't know if I say his name right because I never hear it in the movies. Scabior?
Yeah.
How? Yeah.
That's what Stephen
Scabior.
Fry says.
Oh, okay. Actually, wait, yeah, audiobooks wise. Whoa, yeah, that's okay. It's kind. Yeah, I got the same end as yours.
The
Yeah, the Benny.
Little
but
step
mine's just
down?
got- yeah.
This looks like an Ethan Edgehill wand. I don't want to I don't want to come out here and be like, if Ethan had a wand, it would look like this. But actually, if Ethan had a wand, it
well,
would look like
there's
this.
somebody in our Discord that's allegedly making them for us.
I've seen them. Have you not
No.
seen them? Oh, I've seen
Oh,
them.
that's cool. What does yours look like?
Yeah, it's very cool. It's similar but a little bit different. Let me
I literally
little...
just grabbed the picture and drug it into Skype, which was I think
Oh,
the
let me
coolest
do
thing
a
I've ever
little-
done in my life.
Whoa, you can do that.
Right?
That is
like
magic
I
right
like
there.
I like the rope. That's cool. But past the rope, we do have the exact same wand.
Same structures as
How do I
well.
get to the chat?
Yours has just got a little weird. I don't know if I like to hold that end piece of yours.
Yeah, it's got the like ribs.
It's ribbed for someone.
Guys, how am I the one being the
Ethan.
most PC in this episode? I'm the one that's normally like, man,
Why does Tyler have like this document I have to open here?
yeah, Tyler.
I don't know what
Literally
happened.
just didn't listen to what I said to do at all.
I can't even find
That would've been
Skype
so
on my
magical.
computer has this thing where it just doesn't show me
So
what
yours
I want
bends
to
up.
see.
You have like yours looks like a Severus Snape wand. It's got like a hooked
Hold on.
nose,
Let me pull this back.
and
in.
it's got the
Oh.
Count Dooku handle.
Why is it doing that? Why is it not doing what I want?
Oh my
I
god!
can
I've
see
got
it.
it in front of me, Tyler. I can see your wand.
Okay.
Put your wand away, Tyler.
Listen,
Oh my god.
it's away.
I kind of like that. That's quite cool.
She likes your wand, Tyler. There's, as
Can't
we've
say I blame
discovered
her.
through the
Stop
past two
that.
episodes of doing this, there's no good way to talk about wands.
Mine's 12 and
Especially
a quarter
when
inches.
3 out of your 4 guests are women, and you're not. It's like, hey,
Oh, mine
you
is
want to
12
talk
and a
about
quarter
wands?
inches.
You want to compare wands?
Y'all are not. Y'all are. The Lord is watching. I want you to know that. There's all the details on my wand.
Cool. Neat zero, burrito zero.
You know what's crazy is I can close Skype and this conversation doesn't go away. That's what stresses me out.
Yeah, but you know what does happen when you close Skype? All I can see of you
What?
is the top right corner of your face and the microphone. I don't know,
Why?
but you close Skype and it was like I could just see the top right quadrant.
Well, I'm still here, waving my wand.
Your wand. All right, cool. And then at TheBakeey, what is your Patronus?
I don't know how I feel about this one, but it's a weasel.
It's a weasel, like Arthur
weasel.
Weasley.
Yeah, which made me feel much better about it when I learned that Arthur has that as well. But then I don't know, is this a British thing that like you'd say someone's a weasel, or is that just?
I mean, like I would
Yeah.
understand what they
But
meant
mostly
if
because
they
of
said that.
like British stuff, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's
like-
why I didn't like it at first. But then it's like weasels are quite cute, I think.
They're adorable. They're like
I don't think we have weasels in America.
Is there like a way I can see what like an animal means?
Like
that's the crazy
I don't
thing.
think we just have these,
No.
like just hanging around.
Weasel meaning.
Where does one find
Weasels only live in America.
what?
What?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, that's a ferret. Ferrets are apparently, according to this Wikipedia article, a type of weasel.
The Mustelidae. The
Now
genus
we
Mustela.
also have stoats.
stoats.
Yeah, we apparently have long-tailed weasels. Mustela frenata.
Oh, ferrets. Those are the cat snake things, right?
those are ferrets.
Yeah, least weasels.
This isn't.
These are
This is an
cute.
unbent ferret. I'm looking at the picture of a long-tailed weasel right now, and this is a ferret that doesn't bend in the middle.
It seems like a weird way to do it.
Right, but you know how the ferret does the thing where it like squishes up in the middle?
A weasel looks
Ferrets are
cuter
cute.
than a ferret.
Yeah, weasels are much
Yeah.
cuter. What you want, I believe, is a stoat. Those are the cute ones.
I've never heard of that.
Stoat.
Stoat. S-T-O-A-T. Stoat. They're adorable. And they're like Northern America and also Russia.
Oh, they look exactly the same as a weasel. Or am I just got?
They are
They're a
weasels.
type of weasel.
They look exactly the same as the weasel I just put up. So why?
It might have been the same one.
That's even more confusing now. Because
There's also
am
no
I?
concern-
Am I a ferret or am I a stoat? Because I'm branded as a weasel.
The
Maybe.
stoat.
I don't know.
That's
The
like having your
stoat. Okay,
toes
listen.
as a
Hold
dog,
on.
but
Hold
the
on.
same
Hold on.
as dog.
The stoat, Mustela erminia, also known as the short-tailed weasel or simply the weasel.
Oh.
In
In
Ireland.
Ireland, where the least weasel does not occur. So I'm guessing that means you're a least weasel. The least weasel, or simply weasel in the UK and much of the world, is the smallest member of the genus Mustela, family Mustelidae, order Carnivora, and is native to Eurasia, North America, and Africa, and has been introduced to New Zealand, Australia, blah 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 blah. You're the least weasel,
Least weasel.
and
That's super cute.
it's much cuter than a ferret. Why do people keep ferrets as pets? Why do we not keep this type of weasel? This is a much superior type of weasel.
It is all about domestication, Ethan.
Right, and I'm pretty sure you could domesticate this weasel if you can domesticate the gigantic ferret. This is a smaller.
about the cat
This is smaller
snakes.
than a ferret.
Okay.
And it's also probably less smelly, and it doesn't bend.
I need to clean this blade. Oh no, I did clean.
Anyway, Sophie, congratulations on your weasel. I'm glad that you have accepted your Patronus for the adorable animal that it is.
But not the traits that comes with it. I think it just seems a bit of a weasel. That's what
I
would.
would assume it is loyal. It is okay with British-Irish relations. I don't know if that's something you're okay with. Friend to half-bloods.
Well, fun fact, according to Pottermore, the Patronuses don't mean anything because when you click on more about my Patronus, it tells you nothing useful. My Patronus
Yeah,
is
it
a
doesn't-
West
yeah.
Highland Terrier, which is a small form of dog, like very small.
It's a very expensive
Very
small
expensive
form of dog.
small form of dog. We've been looking into getting me a Westie named Expecto, and they're very expensive.
Very
like,
expensive. You can head on over to
thousands and thousands of
patreon.com/bacon
dollars.
and eggs. Or you can just send us one and we'll
In
take care
the
of it.
description for this episode is the link to the Buy Ethan a Westie GoFundMe page. No, there's not. I'm kidding. I would not do that. Jesus Christ.
Wait, no, that would totally happen. People will totally fund that project.
Yeah, but I would be a terrible person for that.
By Ethan Westy.
Just
By
said
Ethan
they
Westy.
might have cute little faces, but weasels are also bloodthirsty.
Yo, that is so you.
Thanks.
That is. I mean,
I look
listen. You don't
innocent.
get 100,000 subscribers without being a little bloodthirsty.
Anyway, what is your Ilvermorny house?
Fun-
Because we got to move on.
Horned serpent.
Gosh, you're ready to pounce.
She's
fair, I'm
snake
not-
through and through.
Like that informed in the Ilvermorny houses.
No, me neither. I don't know anything about them. I know that I am a Thunderbird, and therefore that is the only house that matters.
I am a
And therefore Ty's wrong. Also, Ty sorted himself on the episode with Tessa Netting, and I called it as he was taking the test. I was like, "You're totally a wampus." She explained what they meant.
I feel like
And I was like, Ty's a wampus. And then he was like, I am a wampus. And I was like, yes.
I felt like Wampus is like Hufflepuff, and you like we'll all pretend.
No,
like,
Hufflepuff
Puff's
is
on the
definitely
rise.
Puckwudgie.
Oh, you're right.
I got excited for the Horned Serpent, thinking it was to do with Slytherin, but I don't think it's actually. I think it's more. Is it more like when they try and relate it back? It's the Gryffindors, the Horned Serpent.
No. So from what I understand about the Ilvermorny houses, imagine it like a wheel, right? The wheel has 8 chunks. Okay, and then like your north, south, east, and west are your Hogwarts houses, and then you just like shift everything over one turn, and the ones that fit in the middle are the Ilvermorny houses.
That doesn't help me organize them at all.
No, but like so one of them, I don't know which ones like link up to which, but like say Thunderbird is the combined traits of like a Hufflepuff and a Gryffindor. It's like the northwest.
So not specific to one. They sort of
right. They don't match up
2.
directly. They match up like it's some traits from this and some traits from this, and that kind of thing. Anyway, let's talk about Harry Potter and the thingamajiggy. Harry Potter and the guy with only some blood.
The Half-Blood Prince. It's a namesake. It's got nothing to do with his amount of blood.
What are you sending me? What is this?
Oh,
look at that. I was exactly right. Cool. Look at that.
Oh.
Man, I'm really. That's the Olympic theme. Yeah, they're both John Williams, so I always think it's from Harry Potter because the sounds like something that would be in Harry Potter. Also, I'm really glad I was right about this because nobody told me that's how it was, and I made all of that up.
I mean, I just put this. This is a Google search. This isn't like J.K. Rowling wasn't like this.
I'm just saying the fact that you were able to find this diagram for the thing I was just describing, pulling straight out of my butt without any kind of backing up whatsoever, makes me very happy.
Well, like some of these don't make any sense. Like
I just found. You know what doesn't make sense? Your attitude.
Jesus. Here's the thing: is I pulled this out of nowhere. I googled Hogwarts and Ilvermorny houses, and it came up with this nice little flow chart. But like this one connecting Puckwudgie to Hufflepuff is like if you have loyalty / patience, which are not the same thing. Those don't mean the same thing. One of those applies to Hufflepuff, and the other applies to Puckwudgie. They're not like it doesn't make any sense. I can't tell, Ethan, are you laughing into the microphone, or are you just shaking some water out of your ear? I can only see you moving.
No, I'm trying to make sense of this as well. You want I should explain the chart?
Or like intuition / willing to listen. Some of these don't make any sense, but it's a cool little chart. We'll maybe include it in the show notes if we can remember to do that.
I think this is trying to say these are the characteristics that each of the Ilvermorny houses shares with each Hogwarts house.
I think it's saying that if you are both, like because I'm Ravenclaw Wampus, it's what's important to me is individuality, according to this. Where you are Ravenclaw Thunderbird, so you are into exploration of new ideas / open to new
That could also be true. I have no idea. This is also probably not correct.
I mean, I don't know. That sounds pretty accurate for you. Let's see, we've got Slytherin, Horned Serpent. Your loyalty of the mind? I don't even know what that means.
Loyalty
that's
of
literally
the
just
mind.
words. That's literally just words. You picked 4 words out of a hat and strung them together. That's exactly what that is.
All right. Well, we are in a similar predicament that we were last week, in which that we have an entire movie to talk about and not a whole lot of time.
But that's okay because Half-Blood Prince is a lot of movie
where nothing happens.
Where not much happens. And then
thanks for choosing me for these 2
movies. A whole
movies.
bunch happens. Here's the thing: is I was talking to. I got your name. I mean, I knew who you were, obviously. And you've been on my list to have on the show for a while. And I was talking to Seamus, and I was like, hey, who should we get as a guest for this? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you know who loves 5 and 6 and totally wants to talk about those? My good friend Sophie Baker. And I was like, yes.
I was Seamus where he heard that.
Because you're a Snapist.
Yeah, but...
So, given the opportunity, which ones would you have chosen?
I think the last one's the best one. I like that one. But to talk about, because it's got the most joyful, would be like the first one. But then, I don't know. It's quite hard to choose, to be honest. Now you make me think about like Harry Potter movies, and like I just keep thinking back to the books and how much better they are.
And that's the problem. Therein lies the problem I have with 6, is because it's like easily the best book, but it's easily the worst movie.
I don't know. I think 5 might be the worst movie after the discussion we've just had.
You're making me rethink this, but I feel like I just like it now because, like, the Snape scenes.
Well, let me rephrase my statement. From the point of, like, this is an adaptation of the book, it's the worst one. Like, there's a lot of stuff in 6 that I absolutely cannot look past. And it's the only one I have trouble looking past the changes they make.
I think the thing that bugs me the most about 6, the movie, is that the book and the story all hinges on Draco figuring out this vanishing cabinet. And you could tell that Yates, the director, was like, okay, we need to make sure that he goes to this vanishing cabinet a bunch of times.
And he has to rip the dang blanket off of it every single time.
But what you don't get is the scene where he goes to what's the store called in Nocturne Alley?
Borgin and Burke's.
Borgin and Burke's. The scene where he goes to Borgin and Burke's, like, it's not clear that there's a vanishing cabinet in that set, because you're looking at it like through a window at a thing that's kind of hard to figure out what it is, and like, there's not much conversation. Really, all we see is that he walks into there. And to me, I believe when I saw this movie, I had not yet read the book, and I was like, this makes absolutely no sense.
Fun fact, it doesn't make any sense in the book either. You're not supposed to know that Draco's figuring out the vanishing cabinet.
No, but you know that there is something in Borgin and Burke's that is getting fixed.
Yeah,
you don't realize that in the book.
You don't?
In the film.
I thought it said that.
No.
Pretty sure it said that.
Not from what I can tell.
Anyway, you know what bugs me about Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the movie, is that it was released on July 15th, 2009, which is 3,433 days ago. It doesn't actually bother me. I was just segueing into saying that. It was released on a $250 million budget, which is $100 million more than Order of the Phoenix, and all I can imagine that they spent that $100 million on was turning the sun down so that there's absolutely no light whatsoever or any kind of joy in any way at any point in this movie.
I mean, you may not be wrong. It's supposed to look like a Brandt painting? Is that the guy's name?
Who? Rembrandt?
Rembrandt, that's it. Yes.
You sure? I might be misremembering Rembrandt. No, that's pretty dark.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not wrong about that.
You're not wrong.
That's what it's supposed to look like, and apparently they had to turn the color up in post-production because it was too dark.
I believe it. It's pretty freaking dark. Anyway, it made a lot of that money back. It made $934 million American pounds, named for Secretary of the Treasury William Buck Dollar. American dollars, worldwide, and it got an 84% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a 77% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 78 on Metacritic.
78.
You know what we never did for the first movie?
Breakfast Food.
Yeah, we never did Breakfast Food. Or positive review.
Is that
Positive
what you
negative
were
review.
gonna say? Yeah, we did. Did we not? I don't know. We got them right here. I'm gonna skip the other one. No, we don't, because I didn't talk about Anthony Lane. Or you didn't talk. We're about to talk about Anthony Lane. It was funny. I have a positive review. We both took a New Yorker review, but I did Bruce Dionis, but we never read it. Anyway, positive for Harry Potter 6. Director David Yates presides over some gorgeous CGI set pieces, but all the real magic comes from the scrum of ace British character actors. Cliff Dirksen from the Chicago Reader. I tell you, Cliff, you're not wrong. If there's one thing these movies do well, it is letting these actors get into these characters that are so out of this world, and I'm all about it, and I love it, and it stands the test. Slughorn is genius. Slughorn is absolutely perfect. I understand the description of his appearance is way off, and that's really the only time that happens in this whole series. But I think the actor is genius, and I fell in love with the character, and I've always liked this portrayal of Slughorn.
I have a negative review for this movie from Anthony Lane of The New Yorker. Now, this may come as a surprise to some of you deep cut listeners. Anthony Lane's the guy that loves everything.
We do like Anthony Lane
loves
because he likes things
everything
like we do.
that we love from The New Yorker. He's the opposite of good old Dick Brody. But Anthony Lane did not like Harry Potter 6. He said, all in all, despite the verve that drives the grander set pieces, it's hard to avoid the sensation of a film toiling overtime to convince itself of its own solemnity.
Can I ask you a question before we move on? I see this phrase a lot in our film review world, and maybe I just like missed that day of film review class. But what is a set piece?
I have no idea. I'm assuming that it's like the setting.
I'm gonna Google it. I thought this was gonna be an opportunity for you to be like, oh yeah, so it's this thing. Idea. A thing that has been carefully or elaborately planned or composed in particular. A self-contained passage or section of a novel, play, film, or piece of music arranged in an elaborate or conventional pattern for maximum effect. So a set piece in this example would be the cave.
Yeah.
From beginning to end. Yep. That's a set piece.
I agree with that. Yep. That makes a lot more sense.
The cave and everything that happens.
I learned something today.
I did too. So for those of you advancing your film critic education out there, that's what a set piece is. You see that word a lot.
The more you know. Anyway, this movie was okay. It's a 1. I'll give it a 1 still. I mean, I'm not gonna not recommend any of these Harry Potter movies to a friend. You know, I do like them. They are fun. It's a pretty movie. I mean, all of them look really good, especially like over time. It's just like, I guess as a movie by itself, it's okay, but like I just didn't like it because it is very different from the book that I loved, and I'm gonna be that guy this time.
You know, I actually really like this movie. Ethan doesn't like it, and he thinks the adaptation is bad. I actually think the adaptation is pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 1 as well, because at this point I know I'm gonna give at least one of the next 2 movies a 1, and it would just be weird to watch most of the story on my recommendation but skip one. It's not like Phantom Menace. You can't just skip one of the movies and it'd be okay.
Sophie, what do you think about this movie?
Similar with Order of the Phoenix, again, sort of scenes I would like to always remember, but then other scenes which are just, again, not needed. Which is like, I feel like now on this podcast I've discovered a lot more, because you obviously, well, this is weird, because I don't really have real-life friends who are interested in Harry Potter, so doing this podcast and speaking for this long about Harry Potter has made me think about different things, where I just remember the stuff because no one's ever challenged me on that. So now thinking about this is heartbreaking.
So wait, are we just ruining Harry Potter for you right now?
No, because I'll just go back to just watching the bits I want to watch.
Fair enough.
Can we be your real life friends that talk about Harry Potter with you, or are you like, no, this is a rough experience and I don't like it?
Well, the intelligence level has definitely helped, but yeah, no, I've been so like selective now. Like it's been a good insight to it, especially.
Well, I'll say I really do like Half-Blood Prince. I think it nails the right points. What I don't like is it like Harry jumping around on the trains. The scenes that it adds needlessly are a huge problem. Like, I don't like that they just blow up the burrow for no reason.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't just create problems for the next film and the next part of the story, which, you know, at this point they should have known what was going to happen. But it also is like, well, if Bellatrix and werewolf guy
Greyback
can just, Fenrir Greyback can just fly. God, you're talking about uncreative names. But if they can just fly to the burrow, like if that's not a protected piece of land, why are they hiding there?
It was.
That's what I didn't
It was.
understand.
It's a huge continuity error.
It's supposed
it's
to
a
be
huge
protected.
canon
Yeah,
error.
it's a huge.
Like, enormous.
Because it's supposed to be protected. Bellatrix
No
isn't
one
supposed to
stops
just be
them
able to
running out
show
the
up.
house either. These little kids just
Right. These literal children running around after werewolves, murderers.
Do you know?
That's something I do want to go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say like the whole Greyback thing and Lupin. That would have explained a bit in the movie. Well, which they explained how Lupin became the werewolf.
Lupin is so good. I love Lupin.
Who doesn't love Lupin?
Yeah, no. And that was still, I think, one of the best casting decisions overall of the whole thing.
Well, that one's so good because Lupin doesn't have like a characteristic look. Like, at the end of the day, he mostly just looks like a ragged guy.
Really? You say
like
he doesn't have a characteristic look. That's a funny thing for you to say. Fun fact is that he does have a characteristic look, and it was characteristic enough that you may have not necessarily noticed it, but it's characteristic enough that Daniel Radcliffe specifically insisted to the cast director the costume director in movie 5 that he dressed exactly like Lupin did in movie 3 while he was teaching the DA scenes. That's why he ended up in the cardigans.
Why did he say that? That's an interesting thing to point out. What was the reason for that?
He felt like that was the most influential teacher on Harry's life, and so that's something Harry would have done.
Wait, so Harry is dressed
Harry
as
is
Lupin?
dressed as Lupin. Harry in movie 5 is dressed during the DA scenes as Lupin dressed while he was teaching in movie 3.
Oh.
That is an interesting thing you're pointing out.
And then I read that, and then I went back and looked at scenes from 3, and I was like, yeah, you're right. That's correct. That was a Dan Radcliffe thing that he wanted to do, insisted on, because at this point he's the only person still invested in being the character. Emma Watson's when she made this movie is hating her whole life.
I think Rupert Grint was still in on it. I think he liked.
Probably, but how could you hate being Ron? Rupert Grint is useless outside of Harry Potter.
What do you need to do at that point? You're so rich.
True. Yeah, he was a million.
What do you need to do? You need to do some cool Broadway stuff. You need to be like a women's rights activist across the world.
It's and that's the thing is they are their characters. It's
I don't know. I think Emma Watson more than the others has been able to break away from it. And I've seen Dan Radcliffe in other roles and not thought of Harry Potter.
No, I disagree with that entirely. Emma Watson went and got further education and wants to change the world. Dan Radcliffe wants to be in the spotlight and still be that guy. He obviously makes a bunch of crazy movies. He was in Swiss Army Man. He's in whatever movie that is about to come out where he's wearing a bathrobe and tiger slippers and holding guns in the rain. And I don't know what movie that is, but I can't wait to see it.
He's in a
and
lot
then
of really
Rupert
good
Grint
stuff.
bought an ice cream truck and mostly doesn't do anything.
He's gotten into stage work. Apparently, he's very.
But it's
good
like
at that.
they grew up to be their characters.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So this movie, I think, more so than the rest of them, and the same with the book, captures the tone of the year. It's like these guys felt like they were acting like 16-year-old teenagers. And there's even that great video that went around for a while that's like scenes from this movie cut as a trailer for a teen comedy.
Oh yeah,
That is
one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. It's got that Harry acting drunk with the pincers.
Isn't like Hermione acting drunk as well with the bit before she picks up the necklace? Well, not Hermione. But,
Yeah. She was.
Yeah.
She was drunk after all the butterbeer.
And it's like they have Lavender Brown coming in.
Right. There's a lot of that stuff that's done really well in the movie. That relationship, the tension between her and between Ron and Hermione. The tension between Harry and Ginny, it's all done very well in the movie. Harry being the chosen one and Hermione constantly smacking people with books.
But
it's like,
good.
okay, so this movie, David Yates, and I want to point out with the Malfoy thing, it's like we spend so much time in this movie following Malfoy around, just looking at scenes of Malfoy being emo, and it's like this movie series, David Yates has made it clear he's not afraid to use repetitive scenes and montages. It's like you could have showed one scene of Malfoy pulling that blanket off the vanishing cabinet like 7 times, and gotten the whole thing taken care of in 30 seconds. Just like, whoop, 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 whoop. And you get that in filmmaking terms, that he's doing this a lot. It's like it would have been. It would take 30 seconds. Move on. Show some part of the movie that you left out. Like I don't know, Marvolo Gaunt.
Do you think that's a problem? Leaving out Marvolo
That's a huge
Gaunt?
problem. That's the only thing that matters in the book is those memories.
No, you know what really matters in the book?
What? Dumbledore. Yeah, the time Harry spends with Dumbledore, the relationship Harry has with Dumbledore, which is never brought up the way it's supposed to be. At the end of this one, she's just like,
it is. I think
McGonagall goes like, she really cared for you, and I'm like, I don't buy it. Not from the movies. I think Marvolo Gaunt's a problem. The fact that Voldemort had the Resurrection Stone in his possession and didn't know it.
He doesn't know about the Deathly Hallows. He doesn't care about the Deathly Hallows. He cares about
he
the
knows
Elder
about the Deathly
Wand.
Hallows. He cares about the Elder Wand, the Death Stick, the Wand of Destiny. Anyway.
I'd make a great wand.
You do what?
What was that?
Did you say I would make a great wand? Like you would be a great wand?
I mean... Maybe.
How well can you swish and flick?
What of it? Oh, I could swish and flick, my friend.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
I'll make a great one.
I mean, Ollivander made great wands.
Yeah, and he's super weird.
Oh god, John Hurt in general was super weird.
John Hurt was also an awesome casting.
Oh yes,
because he pulls off the like creepy parts of Ollivander so well. The like, man, this dude is just a little off.
Yeah, this dude is more interested in what wands can be than he is
in people. Yeah,
humanity. Yeah, terrible but great. He's a little walrusy in there.
Phoenix that gave your wand its feather gave another feather, just one other feather. Its brother gave you that scar.
You're destined for great things, Mr. Potter. Anyway, that's our little quote Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone moment. Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, for the person in this chat with us. Philosopher's Stone. I actually did accidentally watch Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone when we were going through reading or doing this for the movies because it was the only one I could find online without paying for it. What?
That's against the law.
Yeah, and then we bought a copy of all 8 of them. I don't feel bad at all.
That's true. We did buy all 8 of them, and I have paid for these many
It's like I have it on VHS and DVD. I just didn't have any of them with me.
I own multiple copies of the books, and I'm literally holding a $50 piece of wood that they sold me.
To be fair, I have also stolen the audiobooks, but I've stolen the audiobooks because Amazon won't let me listen to the ones I want to listen to because for some reason it's decided that the regional thing is important still. I'm not allowed to listen to Stephen Fry versions because of the UK versions instead of the US versions. And apparently that's a thing.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so if I want to buy the audiobooks from Amazon or from Audible in the US, I have to listen to Jim Dale.
Oh.
The Jim Dale versions are great.
Yeah, they're just not as good as the Stephen Fry versions. I've listened to both.
I think what bothers me more than anything about it is that Jim Dale is also a British narrator.
Well, yeah, it'd be weird if it was like, I don't know, Aaron Eckhart. I don't know why that's the first name that came up to me.
Was Jim Dale like, I think I've only heard like a section of his, but rest is Stephen Fry, but it was is his Hermione really annoying, or am I thinking of someone else?
Yes.
Yeah.
His Hermione is very airy. She's very like she worships Harry and Ron, and you can hear it in the way he does her voice, which I think takes from her character just a little bit. But other than that, I think he adds to most of the characters. He gets very into the voices, like very, very much so.
Yeah.
From my understanding, the Stephen Fry is more like you're always listening to Stephen
No,
Fry.
that's not true. No.
Okay. Well,
Jim
but
does
Jim
seem
Dale
more
does.
intense, from what I've heard.
From what I've heard about it, is the Jim Dales they're focused more on the voices, and Stephen Fry's are focused more on like a story being told to you. They're still voices, but it's like somebody's reading you the voices. It's like you feel like it.
which Jim Dale is like a voice actor.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, they're not great for some of them.
Like, it's sort of Hermione's going to wake you up and scare you when you're trying to fall asleep.
Right. And
But Stephen,
I fall asleep listening.
I've fallen asleep listening to Stephen Fry.
oh, I definitely have, yeah. I mean, I've listened to the Harry Potter books a numerous amount of times. More than any other book series, like by a wide margin.
Oh, yeah, same. I've probably listened to them about as many times as I've listened to Ready Player One.
Oh, God. I've listened to Ready Player One a lot. Anyway.
Hey, Sophie, can I ask you a question totally unrelated to everything?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh.
I'm scared now.
Why do you...
What is it?
I'm just curious. I'm not mad about it. I don't think it's a bad thing.
God.
Why do you always wear a hat?
There's no reason behind it. I just sort of, I don't know. I guess I just don't, I don't want to go, like, into deep about it, but maybe it's something deep. But to me, it's just, my head just looks a bit boring without it on.
No,
But
I
then
totally
do
get
feel
that.
more
Yeah, Ty doesn't like
comfortable
people who wear
when it's
hats.
What are you talking about? I don't mind hats.
on. Just hatred for hats.
I wear hats all the time. I sell hats.
Yeah, you have an issue with me wearing a hat.
No, you just out of nowhere, all of a sudden, it was like Ethan wears
Because hats
now.
became cool in the
Ethan's a hat
circle I
guy.
roll in.
What was I
But
gonna
no,
say?
I wouldn't
You
feel
know,
comfortable like in public without a hat for some reason. I don't know where that's came from, but maybe it has got a deep meaning. But I just think I look better with a hat on.
you look cool.
But who knows?
I mean, that's fine. I'm not here to judge you. I was gonna say something else. You know, Jack Nicholson said something about something similar to that. He says, when I'm just walking around, I'm Jack, but when I put on sunglasses, now I'm Jack
I
Nicholson.
knew you were going to tie this back
You know,
to
it's-
Casey Neistat somehow.
I didn't say Casey's name. I'm talking about Jack
Right,
Nicholson.
but it's the same exact explanation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
I knew it. I was going to say, what does Casey Neistat have to say about it?
I don't know if you know this, Sophie, because it's not super public.
He's
but I
decided
love
that Casey Neistat is literally God.
He's not God. He's just like...
Is there a reason? What's the reason behind his glasses?
It's the Jack
Casey
Nicholson
Neistat.
thing. When he has the
Well,
glasses
the
on,
same
Well,
thing. He
so
just
his-
feels more. Ooh.
Yeah, and his other reason is that if he's vlogging,
Yeah, I
he can look
heard
at
that
the
one.
viewfinder. Yeah, he can look at the monitor instead of
and
the
he does have very
lens.
good shots. So
He does have very good shots. There's no doubt about it. I was just curious. There's no super deep answer to it?
Not that I know of. Who knows? But no, I just wear them on. I feel a bit more comfortable with it on, I guess. But maybe that's just because I wear it so much. That's what I now think.
yeah, it's part of your brand. I mean, for sure. It's become part of the brand.
I mean, I've caught myself on your merch page being like, I mean, I should really probably buy one.
Wait, you sell the hat?
So it works.
Yeah, they've been out of stock for quite a while.
Oh.
The thing is, the hat I just bought randomly, and I wore it in one video, and then I kept wearing it, and now like the hat itself is just a very simple thing, but now it's just turned into something, and now I just can't be seen without it. But I would like to change it up, but would that be too much for my viewers?
I don't know. I mean, there's only one way to find out.
Fun fact at TheBakeey, did you know that you are the 7,222nd most popular person, according to famousbirthdays.com? Which comes up when I search
reliable is
TheBakeey.
that?
I don't know. It's not very reliable. They do know your birthday.
Casey Neistat on that.
I have no idea.
That's a good question.
Casey Neistat, YouTube star. He is 485.
Ooh.
That's pretty far down.
Is.
The most popular person born on March 25th, the second most popular person from Connecticut, and the second most popular Casey.
What?
Apparently it's Casey Simpson.
I've never heard
me
that
either.
name in
This
my life.
website is we went over this before.
Is that like Cameron Dallas? Do you know what
No.
that is? I don't either. But I remember when Vine was around. I had no idea what that guy posted, but I would see a lot of like Stan Vine accounts that would just post edits, whatever that every word I just said is very confusing to me.
Dan Fine accounts that would just post edits.
And they would just be like really awful pop music to pictures of Cameron Dallas. Apparently he was handsome. I have no idea. He was, even when Vine was around and we were young, he seemed very young. So I don't know. What's Cameron Dallas? Do you know, Sophie?
I just know him as like the Vine star.
Fun fact, as soon as I typed in CA, it came up with Cameron Dallas on this website. Instagram star. He is the 15th most popular person.
He just looks like a dude with a big
He
mouth.
does have a big mouth. He is about a year and 6 months younger than me.
How old is he? Oh, 23.
He's older than you. But into these pictures, he's not wearing a t-shirt. That's. Listen, buddy.
I just googled.
He's got
Google
quite the
image him.
hair. I'll tell you that much.
He doesn't own a t-shirt in these Google images, I don't think.
He's the most popular Cameron, the most popular Californian, the most popular 23-year-old.
See, I think the girls is all about the jawline. I don't know why this has gone to this when we talk about the Half-Blood Prince, and now we're talking about.
I mean, this
Cameron's
website
palace.
this website says that Jacob Sartorius is the most famous person in the world.
Who is Jacob Sartorius?
He's like a social media guy. He's a Vine kid, I think.
He's a kid. He's like a child.
He dated the girl from Stranger Things.
Millie Bobby Brown. She's cool.
All of these people appear to be like children, except for Taylor Swift.
Who is older than us?
Jake Paul's 21. What?
I hate the internet.
Jake Paul is 20. Jake Paul was born in 1997.
What do you think?
I thought he was like at least our age.
Oh no, Logan is like our age.
Are they not twins?
I think maybe younger.
Logan Paul's 23.
No.
What? I need to get off this website. this hot button hellscape that I found myself in.
This is the first thing I felt popular on, and now you're taking it away from me.
No, I mean you can feel popular all you want. I'm not on this list.
You can keep it.
Fun fact.
You can keep it.
I do not get a page. Oops, Ethan Edgehill wasn't found. You're
I'm
goddamn right I
associated
wasn't.
with Alan Rickman. What?
Yeah, you posted a picture of Alan Rickman apparently. They also know about your brother.
Oh. Yeah, that's crazy. That's quite scary. Where did you even get these?
Tyler Carlin also wasn't found. We've been over this before.
Wait, hold on. What's her number overall?
7,222.
Oh, I thought it was in the 3,000. Sorry, I thought you were gonna be beating Shane.
You are beating Ben Carlin by
are
3,000. You are
seems like a
3,000 people
young
more
person's
popular than Ben
website.
Carlin.
This seems like a young person.
Oh, you're beating Jonathan too by 4,000.
Hey, but Ben and Jonathan are both beating George Carlin, which is,
What?
what world is this? I think this is how I know I'm old.
12,000. George Carlin's the 12,000th most famous person. 5,000 behind the Bakeey.
Do you know who George Carlin is, Sophie?
No.
George Carlin's like a movie star. He's
He's
dead. He was
He's
a
been
movie
dead
star.
for 10 years.
Jesus Christ.
He was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He also is a stand-up comedian, a very good one.
He was Mr. Conductor on Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, I would know that.
He was the voice.
No.
There's only one voice.
No, he like a person.
Oh, I don't know. He was a
I
very
remember
good
because when
comedian.
I was a child, George Carlin came and played a stand-up set at the local Coliseum, and I was like 4 or 5. And I was very upset that my mom would not take me to see Mr. Conductor.
Yeah, let me
and
tell
I
you
did not
why.
understand that.
That guy is very vulgar.
Yeah, he was originally played by George Carlin, now played by Alec Baldwin. Anyway.
Seamus is nearly more famous than Gary Oldman.
Yeah, this website is garbage.
What a statement.
Please don't tell him
Go ahead
that.
and boost Gary Oldman.
Oh gosh.
He'll find out. He listens to the show
I'm sure he'll
sometimes.
listen to this episode. Seamus is more famous than Gary Oldman. I feel like his stock has risen since we did this with him. Because we definitely talked about him on this.
Yeah, his birth.
I want to see who's around me, but wait.
He is the most famous Seamus.
What?
He's the 17th most famous pop culture web star. I don't know what that means, but
What is this website?
Reaction web star.
I hate
What
this
is
website.
that?
Let's get away
Why
from
am I
here.
43 in reaction web star?
I don't know. What is a reaction web star?
I don't know. No for react.
All right. Well, do we have any final thoughts on Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the movie?
We've given it many, many thoughts already, for sure. I actually really like it. I think all the set pieces, I'm using it now. I know what this word means. So does everybody else. The set pieces, I think, are excellent. I think the cave scene is note for note as it is in the book, and that is very satisfying to me. I think there's, much like movie 5, there's a lot to be desired with the battle with the Death Eaters at the end, in that there's a lot that goes on in the book, and in the movie it's just like, and the Death Eaters show up and they literally do nothing. They watch Snape kill Dumbledore and then they leave, and that's the whole thing. And you also don't get to see a lot of Dumbledore's army in action, which is sad.
Yeah, don't
but
they go out
overall,
and fight, don't they?
They're supposed to.
Yeah.
yeah. So that was disappointing, but overall, it's just, I'm a fan. I like it. It's not my favorite movie of all time, but I like it. Any thoughts from you, Soph? Sophaloaf?
I like obviously because I love Draco, so this was good for me in that sense, seeing him go down that rail. Like Snape, got obviously the title's Half-Blood Prince. Did he get more Snape memories in this or not? I can't keep up with Snape's memories, but there is a lot. I like the whole... Oh, what's the first scene with the unbreakable valve and stuff like that? I love that.
That is good. I'm a fan.
So that scene, the cave scene, Dumbledore death scene, and a few of the towel off the what's it called? Oh, what's Draco with the freaking bird? Vanishing cabinet.
The vanishing cabinet.
Have one of those in there, and then that's all I need to be satisfied with Half-Blood Prince. To movies wise, because I feel like there's some scenes in there, for example, like, is it stupid, like, I guess what you're saying about the whole teenage love scenes, like there's a Christmas scene which seems a bit pointless in there, like just once it's getting good when Snape Harry's talking to Lupin about Snape, saying that he doesn't trust him, and then Dumbledore's, well, we trust Dumbledore, and then suddenly it gets interrupted with some more comedy of Ron eating pies or something. But those are the
accurate.
Those are more like, that's just, see, this is what you've done. Now I'm thinking of all these humorous stuff in there, and now I don't like that stuff. But I'm just gonna keep my mind set on the stuff I love.
Well, I'm sorry we ruined Harry Potter for you.
I just have to think about Alan Rickman. That's all. Alan Rickman did a.
I mean, honestly, that's what gets me.
Right. I mean, I was recorded on this episode, or on this podcast, as saying Alan Rickman played the part of Severus Snape better than it was written.
100%.
So,
I don't think I'll be so in love with Snape if it wasn't for Alan Rickman doing what he did, to be honest. He made a big part of it.
Yeah, it was epic, for sure.
But then a majority of the actors
Obviously.
now, like when you read the books now, because obviously we've like watched all the movies a lot, there's some characters you have the voices in. Like when I read McGonagall, I hear Maggie Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Or I hear Slughorn and stuff like that. With other characters, sometimes you don't, but yeah.
What good casting in these films. I want to be clear,
Maybe
Sophie. I love Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, but I feel like the casting was a big thing. That if it wasn't for these castings, who knows?
Harry Potter's just so grand. You know, it's just so good. The whole kit and caboodle. You know, Dumbledore dies, and that's a sad thing. But like, I'm a big fan of the Felix Felicis scene.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a well adapted.
I would agree.
You know?
That's the humor I like, but I'm not all for the lavender brown humor.
I don't know how I feel about Lavender Brown as a whole. Just even in the books, I'm not about this character that shows up out of like literally pretty much nowhere and all of a sudden is like a huge deal to Ron for most of this movie. Like, why couldn't he have fallen in love with the girl from the Yule Ball? Which reminds me, the Yule Ball was crap. Harry and Ron going with two girls who like never have any relevance to the story ever. Come on, man. They're 14. They're allowed to like girls. Unless that doesn't work the other way around. If you're my cousin and you listen to this podcast and you're a girl, you're not allowed to like boys. I don't care how old you are.
I don't like the ending of Half-Blood Prince, actually. Like when they're stood up on the tower. What happened to the book? Wasn't the mirror mentioned at the end as well? Oh no, these are all mixing up now. I'm thinking of Order of the Phoenix, isn't it? When they talk about the mirror finally that he could have talked about with Sirius the whole time. Which one am I thinking of? Obviously not Half-Blood Prince because he's dead. But which one's the one when they reveal at the end that the whole time there's the mirror, but they don't mention it in the movies?
That's Order. It's 5.
Yeah, at the end of the Order book, they then pronounce this mirror that could have been there.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's a movie. It happened.
It is.
You just gotta like try and separate them if we can.
It went on for a number of minutes, and a bunch of things happened. Some people did some stuff. Magic was made. Things happened, and at the end of the day, Harry Potter beat Voldemort and everybody once again, and they triumphed. And now we need to give both these movies breakfast foods and rate this movie. Yeah, I kind of like panicked.
Breakfast foods.
That's pronounced F-F-G-O-O-D-S.
Judes. Let's start with the breakfast foods, and let's start with Order of the Phoenix. Now, I mean, like when you think of waking up in the morning and eating.
So what? The real question is, what is the Order of the Phoenix? What is the Phoenix order for breakfast?
Oh,
that's what I thought Order was when I first said it. I didn't even know, like when you were saying it wasn't like you didn't know it was a group. I was like, what is this order that he's making?
Sucky. What does he order for breakfast? So Phoenix walks into a breakfast joint. They've got everything on the menu. You know, based on the film, he wants to order the thing most similar to the film. What is he ordering? I honestly have no idea. It's a lot of side
scrambled
dishes,
Phoenix egg.
But it's scrambled Phoenix egg. Except Phoenixes don't lay eggs either.
Yeah? Okay. Fine.
It's just ashes. I disagree. To me, it's just a bunch of side quests. So it's like you got your hash browns and your and your grits. And I'm trying to think what to eat as sides for breakfast.
Look, okay, so it's the IHOP 2x2x2 combo where you get 2 pancakes and 2 eggs and 2 bacon things and 2 pieces of toast, but they forgot to bring you the pancakes.
That's exactly what it is. What do you think, Sofa Loaf? Can I call
it
you
just
that?
reminded me of IHOP. I think you've done it a few times, but yes, you can.
Can you?
When I said at the start
my
of
wife
this
used to have a dog
podcast,
named Sophie.
I said you can call me whatever you want, so I can stand by it. Now you made me think of IHOP. I had IHOP when I went there. Amazing.
I had IHOP on
did
Saturday,
you like it?
Sunday. I haven't been in IHOP in a
miss
long
IHOP.
I
time.
haven't had.
So what? As a food-wise, what would Order the Phoenix be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Breakfast food.
Breakfast
specifically.
food. Oh. So you have a lot of different breakfasts. I just eat cereal in the morning. Maybe it's like some
Okay.
like cereal just about to go soggy. Or maybe like when you have like cereal but just not enough milk.
It's like cold oatmeal.
And you just run out. You just run out a bit. It's good, and then it just run out. Of
Can I
milk.
ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of cereal do you eat?
Would you know like cereals?
Probably
I don't
not.
know. I'm sure I can Google it.
I eat frosted wheats.
Is that like Frosted Flakes?
No,
No,
it's like
frosted
it's like
wheats are
frosted
like-
shredded wheat.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
yeah,
okay, I know
shredded
what that
wheats.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have
We
that,
have those.
Yeah, so, but or like Weetabix,
I love Weetabix.
Wheatos.
Fun fact: my dad used to buy them all the time from like one of the stores that sold them. I think it was Harris Teeter that sold them. And he was like, "This is what my grandmother always used to eat because she's from England." And they were the best things. It was just like a wheat bar that you put in milk, and it was so good for no reason. I low-key love Weetabix. What are we looking at?
Okay, I'm down with that. What do we decide on then? Is it the soggy breakfast or is
no
it the
pancakes? I think.
The no pancakes? I agree. You're missing an integral part of this whole thing. It's just a bunch of, this is a D&D campaign, I think. I have no idea. That doesn't go the way you expect it.
I don't think they ever go the way you expected. I think that's the whole point.
The whole
From
kit and
every
caboodle.
person I've ever talked to that's been like a dungeon master is like, man, I had this great campaign worked up, and the group I played it with completely it up, just ruined it,
Ruined it.
soiled it.
entirely.
All right.
Soiled it.
Okay, so let's rank. Let's do all the rankings for Harry Potter and the guy with only some blood.
So we need to do breakfast food first.
I wouldn't say first. That's generally not what
Okay.
we do first.
The villain here, Draco Malfoy, you're led to believe the villain, I would think, for the bulk of the film. Would you agree, confirm, or
Yeah,
deny?
I mean, he is the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying
He's
to kill
a bad guy.
Dumbledore. Snape is trying to kill Dumbledore, but because Dumbledore tells him to, but we don't know that until the next one.
Right. So I think, Malfoy wants to kill Dumbledore on principle.
love the way you said that.
Expelliarmus.
Monsieur Dumbledore.
Oh, Monsieur Dumbledore.
I like the... My horses only
single
drink
malt whiskey.
single malt whiskey. What kind of diet is that?
Well, they're Pegasi.
Terrible. Your horses are gonna Pegasuson.
Anyway, on a scale of Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face to Heath Ledger's the Joker, where does Draco Malfoy fall?
I don't know, like a
probably.
6.
Yeah,
Probably.
6'5", middle.
Yeah, middle of the
Yeah,
road.
that's a 1
He
to
does
10.
whine a lot.
He is a little whiny. He cries, "Sectum sempra." He can't handle a little bit of blood slashed through his body.
I just don't think there'll be any need for me to be in Charms class next year. What? You think that's funny, Blaze?
Dad, I'll be returning to... Who the heck
Blaze
is
Sabini.
Blaze?
It's Blaze Sabini.
But, that's not a name that I'm
You just
familiar
read the
with.
books. He's Blaze Sabini.
I know.
He's on the Quidditch team.
Zabini reminds. He's on the
Yeah.
Quidditch team, huh?
He's in the Slug Club.
The Slug Club. You think it's funny, Blaze? Yeah, I give him a 6 out of 10. We need to rank
movies.
the movies on the Harry Potter
Do you want to do the
list.
breakfast food, then do the movie rankings?
Yeah, we'll do the
Okay.
breakfast food.
Otherwise, we're probably going to forget it. Okay,
No, we
so-
always do. This one's got a big meaty part to it,
Some sausage
There's
on pancake.
there's like, yeah, I mean, this is like a you remember Isaac Carlson? He was telling us about a McGriddle. I think that
Yeah,
fits
I'd agree
here.
with that.
Some McGriddle.
Like a McGriddle. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love this. So in America at McDonald's, we have this breakfast sandwich that's pancakes filled with syrup are the buns.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
and then
Don't-
you've got syrup, sausage, egg, and cheese.
Oh my. That is vile.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, but it's delicious.
It is literally
Yes, it
not
is.
good,
Dude,
but
why,
it's so
why?
good.
I think the whole living bacon on pancakes with syrup. Like, just keep the pancakes and syrup just sweet.
Bacon
That is
pancakes,
fine,
making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and put it in a pancake.
I would
You
never
don't
understand
strike me
that.
as an Adventure Time guy.
I strike you as the kind of person that's seen that video where it's set to Empire State of Mind.
I love Empire State of Mind. What a track. But yeah, so that's what I think we're looking at here, because you've got Albus Dumbledore literally dying, okay? But you've also got some real comical scenes. You got the whole Lavender Brown thing. You've got the with the pincers.
Farewell,
Aragog.
I love Faggot
Aragog.
in that scene. Just does one line, just a...
And you've got Slughorn, who's actually pretty funny. He's supposed to be rather rotund. So, I'm gonna stick to my sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle, which I just want to vomit thinking about.
But I also kind of want one.
Can I Google image this?
But I also kind of want one.
A McGriddle. MCGRI.
Oh, it's come straight up. I put Muck and it come up. Wait.
Introduced in 2003. It's been around that long.
Okay, maybe I've just...
I mean, it looks like a sandwich. Here,
Oh, I see.
I'll pull
oh my
a
god, it
picture
actually
over
put the M on top of it.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
the
yeah.
extra touch.
here. Endless branding.
God.
Tyler still hasn't figured out that he can just...
That's actually pancakes.
I dragged it over. I have no idea why it doesn't work like that.
That is a really high definition picture of this griddle.
Oh my god.
It's so big. Listeners, I just want you to know that Tyler just shared a picture of McGriddle with us, and it's just 90% of my screen, and I can see the bacon glistening.
Oh my... That's actually pancakes, not bread.
That's pancakes with
No,
syrup
it's
in 'em.
pancake with syrup in them. And then they don't say they do this, but when you get it, some of the syrup drizzles into the rest of the sandwich. So like if you were to separate it out, everything would still taste like syrup. Making pancake, bacon pancake. But I'm gonna say this is sausage. So
Yeah, if you click down one, you'll find a much less high definition picture of a sausage McGriddle.
Yeah, it's just a sausage with the bacon.
Yeah.
I think still don't get the whole pancakes with...
And then there's an egg McMuffin next to it, which is...
what do you mean you don't get pancakes with meat? What do you eat with your pancakes?
Syrup, just sweet stuff. Some blueberries on there.
Blueberries.
Sainsbury's.
Blueberries. I'm sorry, I get so caught up in accent. We are way past time. So we've got
2 a.m. here.
Oh, I'm so
I'm
sorry.
deluded.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just spending my time looking at muck freaking griddles, what are these called?
Muck griddles. I love how you can't say it. Mick.
Mick.
Mick or muck?
Mick.
I always just say McDonald's. I've never shortened McDonald's.
You can say Matt griddles. I'll accept that.
Except it's not McDonald's, it's McDonald's.
Oh my god.
It's like Irish.
I haven't said this enough to even know.
It's like Irish. Just imagine you're talking to Seamus McDonald.
Muck.
McDonald. That hurt.
This is for like the British viewers, but like creamy muck, they might know what that means.
Is that some sort of sexual thing?
No.
McDonald's.
It's on a children's program, a
McDonald's.
British one.
McDonald.
But that's how I'll remember it from now on.
McDonald's. I can't. That hurts. How does your throat make that noise? I'm shook.
All right, so we need to rank these within the Harry Potter verse. I think they go. I have actually no idea. We're gonna need to have this full conversation. What's our current ranking for?
I don't know, dude. I have no idea. They're both.
All right. I can pull up our Patreon page.
Are they better than Goblet of Fire? No. Are they better than Sorcerer's Stone? Are they better than Chamber?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't leave us a whole lot of room, but there's some room in there. Anyway, so both of them are better than Chamber. I'm gonna say 5 is better than 6.
Six is better.
All right, that's fine. I don't really care to fight that much. 6 would be better than 5. That's fine. Okay. So most importantly, we have to put it on our big board, our big list. So
now, are you a Marvel fan, Sophie?
I wouldn't say like die hard. I just watch whatever is on there.
Well,
I just do a bit of like I need to get into like the whole Avengers scene, but I just literally just do like the Spider-Mans and the Guardians of the Galaxies.
You may not be super helpful to this conversation. Then I'm just gonna be really honest with you.
Okay.
Because on our big list of every movie we've ever
Go
ranked,
ahead.
there are 4 movies between Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and one of them is Star Wars, which you said you haven't watched, and 3 of them are Marvel. So
I'll
tell you one thing. I feel bad.
I think.
I feel like we really brutally ranked Ant-Man and the Wasp.
we
looking
did
at
not.
this list.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is terrible. It's not better than Ant-Man 1. That gave it very little room.
Is
This is
there more
true.
than one Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's in
really?
theaters right now.
Too.
It might not even be out
maybe
here.
not where you
That's
are.
the first time I heard of it. Was Ant-Man. The trailers I thought that was the first one.
No, there's a first one. It's called Ant-Man. Came out in 2015. You were like 12. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so
Have I missed a lot?
No.
Or is it not worth it? Okay.
I mean, it's a good movie. You should see it, but you'll survive if you don't.
Anyway, both of these movies are better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, in my opinion.
Thor is kind of a weird one.
Do you want to just sandwich them on either side of Thor?
We can.
Okay.
I'd be okay with that.
Cool. That makes them the 35th and 37th best movie we've ever seen.
Out of
Well,
how
according
many?
to this list of
48.
48.
But then you must have just.
So we've got Prisoner of Azkaban at 11 and Goblet of Fire at 27.
Oh.
Is that bad? Is that wrong?
No, that sounds about good. But I preferred Half-Blood Prince over Goblet of Fire. But that's just.
I mean, I can see that argument. But to me, these movies are just so filler, these two.
Yeah.
The story really starts picking back up.
It's changed my mind, thanks.
Sorry, I didn't mean
I feel like
Yeah,
we've just
I gotta
absolutely ruined
Totally.
these movies for Sophie. All right.
There's going to be the Baconandeggsmedia video that comes out Friday of this week, and it's like, the title of it's just
Harry Potter is
sucks,
canceled.
right? We're doing a whole different kind of content on this channel now.
This is why I need to stick with Muggle friends. Because those Harry Potter friends is too much for me.
We're doing reaction videos.
Yeah, I'm a reaction star now.
I'm 43. I've only got a few more friends. I'll be number one reaction
You're almost
web
there.
star.
I mean, the market is there. There's no doubt about it. Tell those Fine Brothers who's boss.
I bet they're not even number ones. All right, now I gotta
On
find
that
this
website, probably not.
out. This website is garbage. Hold on.
What's so frustrating about that website is that, like, I want to say it's garbage, but, like, somebody's voting on all this
Reaction
stuff.
web star. Number one is Tal Fishman.
I've never heard
But
that name in my life.
Yeah, Benny Fine is not any of these.
Page 3 is 10. That's the only one I know.
Oh, I hate Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein
That's
is
the only one I know there.
Ethan Klein is my nemesis. My only goal in life is to be more famous on the internet than Ethan Klein. I know I'm gonna have to work pretty hard at that, but
There's some people with the last name Carlin on the internet who are rather famous that I'm gonna have a hard time passing
I don't
myself.
think I'll have a hard time being the most famous Edge Hill.
You probably are.
Nobody with my last name was found on this website.
Okay, it's 2 a.m.
we got a
Sophie's
jack.
got a football game tomorrow.
I can't sleep now. You just ruined all the Harry Potters for me.
No,
She's
we
gonna
love
stay
Harry
up
Potter.
stay up until 5 o'clock in the morning cutting in videos to why Bacon and Eggs is terrible.
Reasons why Harry Potter is all the best.
These guys ruined
listen.
Harry
My
Potter.
list has been shortened so much.
Harry
Potter is the best.
Like, honestly, revisiting this series, it's very tough to argue for any other major franchise to be better to its fans than Harry Potter. And
It's
like,
because you got the books.
like you want to argue for something like Star Wars, but like Harry Potter is more in depth. I think it's more for all ages. Like
it's a better told story to start with.
It's a better told story, and it gives more credit to young readers. Like, I feel like some of the child stuff for Star Wars, which I think in my mind would be the real number one competitor here. Marvel is a whole nother animal.
I mean, there's like nothing as good in the world as the Harry Potter book series.
Right. The Harry Potter book series is, in my mind, like, without question, the best book series, and some of like the best series of media there is available.
And if anything,
And
the movies have gave me this collection of props and replicas that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the movie.
Yeah, and the movies are a great thing. We're happy the movies exist. I don't want to ruin Harry Potter for you.
We're gonna cry.
Please don't cry.
Please don't.
Joking.
But if you do cry, especially on camera, make sure you talk about how you were on this podcast and link to it, and
So they can find out why you hate us.
Exactly.
All right, fair enough. Well, let's go ahead and do our wrap up. We are well over time, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning for Sophie.
Yes, so thank you so much for listening to Bacon and Eggs. As always, I'm Tyler Carlin. He's Ethan Edgehill. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at AmeriCarlin. That's really hard to just say, so just look down in the description to figure it out where it is and how to find me. Ethan's at Wow Now. The O's are zeros. Sophie has joined us this week. She's been an absolute delight to have a conversation with. She's Bakeey Films, TheBakeey. She's all sorts of things. We'll put all of her information in the description below as well. This has been a super fun episode talking about Harry Potter and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, as well as Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This series has been an absolute blast so far. Next week we'll return to talk about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows parts 1 and 2, joined by Anna Brisbane, better known as Brizzy Voices. Voices.
I thought it was an echo
Brizzy
there.
Voices, huh?
You lose the ability to say voices at some point.
Voices. Anna Brisbane Brizzy Voices. It's an inconsistent it's like the word czar. It stresses me out.
Make sure you tell her that.
I will not do that. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much to our friends over at Patreon and to our friends in the Facebook group, which you can join. It's totally free for everybody. There's a link in the bio. It's totally free. We have a lot of fun over there. We try to post content every day. That's all I've got. Ethan, what do you
Sophie, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.
It's been an absolute pleasure having her on here. He's been Tyler Carlin. I've been Ethan Edgehill, and she's been at TheBakeey. And until next week, arrivederci.
Albus Dumbledore.
It's an inconsistent